Climate leadership straight from the desk of our dear old Governor Brown. It is the not-so-courageous story about how our green governor ignored his dastardly moral conscience in the face of the worst gas blowout in U.S. history. All to make his sister Kathleen Brown, who lives in this building, millions of dollars. And it all started in 2015 when a massive cloud of benzene and methane erupted from the SoCal gas storage facility. Residents were getting sick immediately, but the governor was nowhere to be found. Residents came down with terrible symptoms, splitting headaches, nosebleeds, and burning eyes and rashes and more. But the government was hiding from the community, so the community rose up.
Shut it all down!
Shut it all down!
Shut it all down! Shut it all down! Shut it all down! Shut it all
And
down!
elected officials and Governor Brown were surprised to see a quiet community fight so vigorously for their health and safety. And it scared them to no end. So Jerry Brown called his sister Kathleen Brown, and they made a plan.
Money, 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 money.
You see, Kathleen Brown was a powerful figure in her own right. She was the former California State Treasurer, and now she finds herself in a lucrative position on Sempra's board. You see, the Brown family made their money on oil in the 1900s. As governor, Jerry Brown has already helped the oil industry. He's expanded drilling across California by more than 21,000 wells. And despite his proclaimed climate leadership, Kathleen and Jerry would make a great team to squash public outrage and help Sempra continue business as usual.
We've got it! The Aliso in action plan!
You see, after careful consideration, the Brown siblings put forward a plan so terrible it just might work to keep the sickened community in check.
In action number 1! Delay government response for 75 days!
After dozens of protests, Governor Brown finally declared a state of emergency on the blowout after 75 days. He would have done nothing if residents hadn't exposed his sister's seat on Sempra's board.
In action number 2! Authorize opening of Aliso Canyon without root cause analysis!
We still don't know what caused the blowout, and yet the state claims it's the safest facility in the country.
In action number 3! Expand the gas storage limit at Aliso Canyon!
We need it! We need it! We need it!
Governor Brown helped Sempra fill the field with more gas and got Aliso Canyon back to business as usual.
In action number 4! 1/3 of wells fail immediately!
But do nothing!
The wells that are supposedly tested and safe don't work.
No.
Aliso Canyon should be shut down, but the government again does nothing.
In action number 5! SoCal Gas creates a gas shortage! Governor does nothing!
SoCal Gas takes 3 major pipelines offline in the winter, when the Los Angeles region uses the most amount of gas out of the entire year, just to justify the need for Aliso Canyon. And the government does nothing to hold them accountable.
Action number 5! 6! Mitigate the blowout with cow farts!
In a settlement with the gas company, Governor Brown punishes SoCal Gas for causing the worst gas blowout in U.S. history by awarding them $34.1 million to invest in their cow fart scheme. capture cow farts in the Central Valley, store the cow farts in Aliso Canyon, burn the cow farts in our homes. This enriches SoCal Gas, but it doesn't help the community at all.
Inaction number 7! Delay Aliso Canyon shutdown for 10 years!
So after 3 years of protest, Governor Brown directs his agencies to look at shutting down Aliso Canyon in 10 years. But it means nothing, and it's non-binding.
We're gonna be rich, and the people can't stop us!
Money, 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 money!
But the community had a plan. A growing movement of hundreds of organizations around the world started calling on Governor Brown to use his last days in office to be a real climate leader and end oil drilling and shut down the Aliso Canyon. Activists around the globe threatened to expose Brown as a climate phony and stage a massive action at the climate summit in San Francisco. You see, all Governor Brown cares about outside of his sweet oil and gas profits is maintaining an impenetrable image as a climate leader on the international stage. He would do anything to protect it, and the movement grew to attack his sister and his conflict of interest over Aliso Canyon. The governor started to crack.
Step down, Kathleen Brown! Step down, Kathleen Brown! Step down, Kathleen Brown! Step down, Kathleen Brown!
The people power grew strong and mighty and came to directly challenge the power behind Sempra's sweet profits. The people organized and rallied to expose the government's cozy relationship with SoCal Gas.
Jerry Brown, you're a climate hypocrite! Prove you're not! Shut down Aliso Canyon or else!
You see, Governor Brown grew increasingly worried. How will this look to all the international dignitaries to have a large movement pointing out his conflict of interest and his climate hypocrisy? So the people got organized, and they planned massive direct action at the summit. But before the summit came to pass, Governor Brown made a sweeping announcement.
Jerry Brown, shut it all down right now! Jerry Brown, shut it all down right now!
Sister! You must resign from Sempra now! It's the only way to save my climate legacy!
Fine! I've already made my millions!
And for my last act, I hereby declare with an executive order that Aliso Canyon will be closed immediately!
Governor Brown saves his climate legacy by moving to close Aliso Canyon. And in doing so, he saves countless lives from future cancers, earthquakes, and catastrophes. Jerry
Brown!